Hey, Shalom. Double honors to the apostles of GMS, honors to you brothers that be pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Right? Found this chapter here in the book of Baruch, the fourth chapter and the first verse. And I didn't really have any much material prepared to do some of the other type of sit downs that I do. But sometimes I just like to read a chapter, break down and touch on certain points. And Lord's will, this is gonna be edifying for you brothers out there, but it ain't gonna be no long soliloquy or long thought out long thought out type of video on that, man. Just be some few points here and there, man. So it's in the book of Baruch, the fourth chapter, the first verse all the way on down. I'm gonna read the whole chapter. I might go back and forth between things, but there's things in there, some points in here that are important to building up your spirit, important to turning back into, turning, like the scripture says, turning you back onto the old paths. This is all with reference to this scripture. Right? It says this is the book of the commandments of the Most High, right, and the law that endureth forever. So you got some certain guys out here that believe that the scriptures and the law, not necessarily the scriptures, they believe in the scriptures, namely the Christians and so on and so forth. A lot of our people, our so-called families and that, they're into that Christianity madness, which all of that, the Most High ain't dealing with them, all right? The worship of Cesare Borgia, the worship of Mary, all right? All of that is the amalgamation of the Babylonian customs, right, in a biblical context. You're still worshiping them old Babylonian gods, all right? But what they've done is they've managed to they practically did what they wanted to accomplish. Because there's a book called literally called the New World Order, something to that effect. And one of the steps that the elites wanted to do is have the people initiated up onto the third level of masonry, right, without them realizing. Okay, and one of the processes that you go by doing that is going out there into college and getting a so-called degree. That's why they call it a degree. All right, of which them schools, right, going back into the times of past, those schools were actually set up, right, for the edification of the scriptures. See, when you was becoming a professor or getting into a profession, that literally means you was getting into the word, man. All right, hence the word prophecy, right? But not to stray away from the point too far. I was saying that the scriptures say that the law endureth forever. And a lot of our people, a lot of the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and really anyone who has a zeal for the Most High, but not necessarily according to the word, once you start getting an inkling of who you are, and the fact that you might possibly be an Israelite, you're supposed to be turning back into the Lord's statutes, commandments of the Most High, because they endure forever. You keep them to the best of your ability, all right. But you're not supposed to be taking grace, right? You're not supposed to be taking grace, taking the piss, in other words, of the grace that we've been blessed with, all right. It says, turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of light, therefore, that thou mayest be illuminated. Right? Give not thine honor to another, or the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation. All right. And he says, O Israel, happy are we, for the things that are pleasing unto the Most High are made known unto us. And what's pleasing unto the Most High? You go into the book of Ecclesiasticus, the 12th chapter and the 13th verse, or the 13th and 12th, I can't remember quite clearly. It says here is the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments. So that's what's going to be pleasing unto the Most High. And if you are high power, man, all right, the highest power of all of that, what you want to do? You want to establish your power and your control, and that's what the Most High has done. He's given these celestial beings an order, right, and he's given his terrestrial beings an order. And when you stray out of that order, guess what? You might be a heathen, but the Most High is going to destroy it, man. And one of the principal things that these heathens have done, do, right, and trying to do, is have you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans in complete subjection as a byword and a proverb, as the scripture saith, man. But guess what, man? The Most High is going to completely turn them tables over, man. And especially Esau, you heathens are going to become a byword and a proverb, man. Where you're going to go back to your rightful place, man. Subjects underneath the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, man. It's our subjects, man. All right? But these things are made known unto us because why? We're Israelites, man. So this truth ain't for everybody. All right, it's not for hell. It's not even for everybody within Israel. No, it's not for everybody in the world, man. All right, And to refine that point, it's not even for everybody within the nation of Israel. And that's why you got certain guys teaching that there's a hell, and when you go to hell, you get popped in the behind, all right, by Satan. All right. You got some other guys teaching that Cornelius was an Israelite. You got some other guys teaching that rape isn't within the scriptures, right? And when you culminate all of those issues, right, what do you have? You have a cancer that festers amongst the people, and that's going to lead the people astray. That's why the scripture also says in the book of, I believe it's 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, O Israel, all them that lead thee cause thee to err. All right, I might be paraphrasing two scriptures there and mushing them together. All right, but ultimately, man, the leaders of this people they're crazy, man. Right? They do it for their own vain glory and that. See, but the Most High will give you that glory in due course. All right, you don't have to take the glory, you know, to make yourself a god amongst these people. The Most High is gonna give you glory in due course, man. Right? You have to every time you remind yourself who the enemy is, which is a so-called white man, right? Starting off with him and the rest of the heathen, right? Then you put things into proper perspective, man. Then you get into a state of fear in the Most High, and really you ain't about all of that vain glory and bullshit, man. Because you know your enemy, and you know the only way you can prevail against your enemy is by the power, right, of Yahweh Yahushai, man. Right? And with that in mind, you give all praises unto Yahweh Yahushai, man. Right? And then you fall into line, and people might want to say, oh, you know, thank you for this. No, it's all praises unto the Most High, man. I didn't do this of my own will. And in the same way that we ain't going to prevail against this man by our own power, man. All right? But you got guys out here that will make you believe, that will lead you to believe that they're actually going to take over the so-called white man. They're actually going to take this man down by their own power, man. Right? They don't give no respect to the Most High, to his name, to his son's name. No respect for that, man. And that's complete madness, man. Right? Given what the scripture says is what the Most High is going to do to Esau, all right? How he's going to bring Esau down to the ground. He says, hell shall meet thee at thy coming. Right? That something like that. Thy pomp is brought down to the ground. Something to that effect. It's in the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter. If you want to read it, all right? Oh, Lucifer, how that fallen down to the ground. It's, you know, it goes on. It's a good chapter, man. It's a good chapter to read, man. Right? It talks about the first part of it, Isaiah 14, the first chapter, 14:1. It talks about how we're going to possess our possessors, man. That's a beautiful scriptures, man. So the Most High's got this man driving around in Range Rovers, Maybachs, right? All of these nice cars, and they don't even live amongst you niggas, man. They live out there in the wilderness, man. Just like how Esau is all the time. He likes the wilderness. So they live out there in the wilderness, man. All right? And they got these nice plush houses and a farm, and they got horses and all of that shit, man. Right? And the Most High is going to bring him down to the state where even the heathens, right, are gonna narrowly look upon him and say, damn, is this the man that made the whole world to tremble? All right? And that's going to be a beautiful thing. But see, you got certain guys out here, all right? They got certain guys out here, right? They don't have the respect, right, or the fear of the Most High to where they want to give him that honor, all right, for the things he's gonna do and for the things he has done. Because you didn't just sit down and this truth just was made manifest into your ears, man. And, you just figured the stuff out, man. Hell, the people that met the Most High were humble as shit, man. Look, man, Israel wanted to meet the Most High. They wanted to see him, and the Most High came in great fashion because he's the top Israelite, man. So he came with an entrance, but he didn't even finish the entrance because fear fell upon the men of Israel, man. Fear fell upon all of Israel, man. Right? But you got, like I said, you got guys out here, right? They don't want to give the Most High the respect and honor due. Right? I can only pray that, through the Spirit and through the Spirit of Yahweh Yahushua, I continue giving the respect and honor due unto the Most High and his servants, man. Right? Because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You can only pray that the Most High don't pull that spirit off of you. Right? But getting back onto the point, in the scriptures it says, "Be of good cheer, my people." Right? The memorial of Israel, you were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved the Most High to wrath. So we went off on the Lord's statutes, commandments to the Most High. So the Most High sold us off into slavery, man. Right? Underneath really all of the nations upon the earth. Right? He says, but because you moved the Most High to wrath, you were delivered unto your enemies. Right? For ye provoked him and made you by sacrificing unto devils, right, and not to the Most High. Ye have forgotten the everlasting power that brought you up, and ye have grieved, right, Jerusalem that nursed you. Right, it says, for when she saw the wrath of the Most High coming upon you, she said, hearken, O ye that dwell in Zion, the Most High brought upon you a great mourning. Right? It says, I saw the captivity of my sons and daughters with which the everlasting brought upon them with the joy I did nourish them, but sent them away with weeping and mourning. It says, let no man rejoice over me, a widow, and forsaken of many, for the sins of the children of Israel am left desolate, and because they departed from the law of the Most High. So pretty much because we went off of the Lord's statute commandments of the Most High, we lost our land, man. And now we got the worst of the heathen living up there. Them Amalekites, they're living up there in our land, man, right, and doing all kind of Edomite shit. To put it simply, man, all kind of Edomite, madness up in there. Okay, all right. It says there, right. It says they knew not his statutes, nor walked in his ways, in the ways of his commandments, nor trod in the paths of his disciplines in his righteousness. Let them that dwell about Zion come and remember ye the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting hath brought upon them. For he hath brought upon them a nation upon them from afar, a shameless nation. So you Edomites are shameless, man. I mean, you see it in your workplace, man, in your working environments, man. I'll be just in the toilet trying to take a piss, man. All right? Or you be in a bug. You got the door closed. You're in a bug, man. All right? You hear someone's there. They come in. They take a piss. But you don't hear no water running, man. You don't put two and two together. Someone's pissing and not washing their hands, man. All right? And then they'll go and get some food and that, man. And these will be grown ass people, man. People that are supposed to be setting an example for a young guy like me, man. All right? Hey, you Edomites are a shameless nation. That's just the tip of the iceberg, man. All right? You're the only nation that sanctioned, right, homosexuals to get married. You're the only nation for that. I mean, I'm not saying there's no homosexuals in these other different nations, but they never had it as a decree to where you can get married, man. Hell, in this kingdom, if you want to get married, you can have two women turn into two dudes, and those two things can get married, man. Or if you wanna, if you fall in love with your I don't know, your TV remote, you can marry a TV remote, man. You can literally do that in this society, man. Which goes to show you, man, you're just a shameless people, man. You are meant to be destroyed, man. All right, you was the entity or the people of whom the Most High was gonna use to just let loose, man, to break loose, to show you his ultimate power, man, his ultimate dark side, so to speak, man. Before he shows you the ultimate opposite of that, ultimate blessing side, man, of which he's gonna bless Israel with the heathen as slaves, man. It's gonna be beautiful, right? He's gonna have, because you see Jake out there, they got the flavor, but they ain't got the power, man. You see Jake pull up in one of them fat cars. Yeah, some people gonna give him some reverence and all of that. He could be big dude and all of that, but you ain't really got that power, man. All right, I'll give you a case in point, man. You got Floyd Mayweather, man. He's been boxing all kind of people, knocking all kind of people all of these years, but see, really, these Edomites don't even really respect him, man. He can go in a ring, right? Fight the so-called toughest boxer out there. All right, beat him, embarrass him even, and these Edomites will still say the other opponent won. Man, see, so even whatever level you're on within the society, man, you still ain't shit. But the Most High's gonna have it to where that's completely flipped over, which is gonna be a beautiful thing, man. All right. So it says here, for he hath brought a nation upon you from afar, right, a shameless nation, and of a strange language, who neither reverence old man nor pity child. So you would have had it to where some other nations would have taken over us into captivity, and they would have spared the women, but they could have put hell upon us. When the Most High put the spirit upon these Edomites to take us over, right, the Most High had it to where, man, they just went ham, man. You had our children being fed to alligators. You had men being burnt up, and that's where your barbecues come from. You know, you like to go out and have a barbecue and that in the sun. You know, man, Edomites were doing that, but they were burning you niggas, man. All right. So, hey, man. Okay. It says here, these have carried away the dear beloved children of the widow, right, and left her that was desolate without daughters. It says, what can I help you? For he brought these plagues upon you, will deliver you from the hands of your enemy. So ultimately, man, the Lord's going to have us delivered even from the worst enemy of our people ever. Man. All right, our twin brother. Okay, and you see that in your movies, you got the protagonist and the antagonist. But the movies, the best protagonist and antagonist movies is when the two people are twins, man. You got the evil twin, you got the good twin, right? Just so happens we're the good twin. We're gonna go through this hell that we're gonna go through now, and it's gonna speak about that in a second, all right? It says, "Go your way, O my children, go where your way, for I am left desolate, right? And I've put off the clothing of peace. I put upon you the sackcloth of my prayer, and I will cry unto the everlasting in my days. Be of good cheer, O my people, cry unto the Lord." All right, so you're supposed to be crying unto the Lord, and that's, you know, that's one of the main things that you're gonna be you do in a state of mourning. You cry unto your power, right? They may have mercy upon you and take you back. All right, it says, for my hope is in the everlasting, that he will save you, and joy is to come unto you from the Holy One. All right, now we just jump to 25th verse. You know, I'm gonna call it quits. All right, so this is the 25th verse. It says, "My children, suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you from the Most High, for thine enemy hath persecuted thee, but surely thou shalt see his destruction, right? And thou shalt tread upon his neck." And that's beautiful. You're gonna have your foot upon the neck of your enemies, man. All right, which means complete power. That's complete power, right? It says, upon his neck, my delicate ones, right, have gone rough ways, and they were taken away as a flock to the slaughter of the enemy. It says, be of good cheer, be of good comfort, rather, on my people, and cry unto the Most High, for ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you. All right, for it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seek him 10 times more. All right, so, you know, pretty much with that. In fact, we read this little bit here. This is 29th verse. For he that brought up these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy with your salvation. Right, and, you know, the whole chapter is good. There's only little bits to read there, but you can read that in your own time. So hopefully, you know, it was edifying. Hopefully, you know, there was some points in there that would have been, you know, inspired, you know, to you brothers out there to, you know, put some more videos, better videos, and that, more, you know, different scriptures and that, or whatever. All right, but the main point to take away from there is, even though you're going through whatever you're going through, ultimately, it's complete world domination, man. All right, galaxy domination, man. If you really want to put it into context. But then I'm gonna say double honors to the apostles of GMS, honestly brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity. Shalom.